In the 1970s, Hollywood went through a phase where disaster movies ruled the box office. Audiences loved watching massive, larger-than-life stories where ordinary people were pushed into extraordinary situations. But even among classics like Earthquake and the Poseidon Adventure, one film stood above them all, literally and figuratively. The Towering Inferno wasn't just another disaster movie. It was the disaster movie. Released in 1974, the film told the story of a massive skyscraper called the Glass Tower, the tallest building in the world. During its grand opening, a small electrical problem turns into a massive fire, trapping hundreds of people inside. What follows is a desperate fight for survival, led by firefighters, architects, and ordinary people trying to escape the flames. There were ego battles between Hollywood legends, groundbreaking stunt work, real flames that nearly injured actors, and production decisions that would permanently change how movies were made. So today we're diving deep into 20 hidden facts about the Towering Inferno, secrets, behind-the-scenes stories, and surprising truths that will completely change how you see this legendary film. Fact 1: 2 rival studios made the same movie at the same time. One of the craziest facts about this film is that two major Hollywood studios were actually planning separate movies based on very similar stories. 20th Century Fox had acquired the rights to a novel called The Tower, while Warner Brothers had the rights to another novel called The Glass Inferno. Both books told almost identical stories, a massive skyscraper fire trapping people inside. Instead of competing and risking both movies failing, the studios did something completely unheard of. They joined forces and combined the two stories into one film. This was extremely rare in Hollywood, especially at that time. Studios were usually fierce competitors and didn't cooperate. This decision saved millions of dollars and allowed them to create a bigger, more spectacular movie than either studio could have made alone. It also meant combining star power, production resources, and marketing efforts. Without this partnership, the Towering Inferno might never have become the massive success it was. Fact 2: it was produced by the master of disaster. The film was produced by Owen Allen, a man who earned the nickname the Master of Disaster. And honestly, he deserved it. Allen had already produced the Poseidon Adventure, which was a huge hit. He had a unique talent for creating disaster films that felt intense, emotional, and realistic. He understood that audiences didn't just want explosions, they wanted human stories. Allen focused heavily on character development. He made sure audiences cared about the people trapped inside the tower. That emotional connection made the danger feel real. He also pushed the limits of practical effects. He insisted on using real fire whenever possible, which made the movie far more convincing than films relying on cheap tricks. His approach helped define the entire disaster movie genre. Fact 3: Steve McQueen and Paul Newman had a massive ego battle. One of the biggest behind-the-scenes dramas involved the film's two stars, Steve McQueen and Paul Newman. Both were huge stars in the 1970s, and neither wanted to be seen as second to the other. Their rivalry became so intense that their contracts had to be carefully negotiated to ensure equal treatment. Their names appear in equal size in the opening credits. They were paid the same salary. Even their number of lines in the script was balanced. The filmmakers had to make sure neither actor appeared more important than the other. Despite the tension, their rivalry actually helped the film. It added real intensity to their scenes, making their characters feel stronger and more believable. Fact 4: the film was inspired by real skyscraper fears. In the early 1970s, skyscrapers were becoming taller than ever before. Buildings like the World Trade Center had just been completed. But with these massive structures came real fears. People worried about fires, evacuation problems, and whether firefighters could even reach the top floors. The film tapped directly into these fears. It made audiences imagine what would happen if something went wrong, and how helpless people could be hundreds of feet above the ground. This realism made the movie far more terrifying. Fact 5: real fire was used on set. Unlike modern films that rely heavily on CGI, this movie used real fire. Huge sections of the set were actually burned. This made scenes more dangerous, but also more realistic. Actors could feel the heat. Smoke was real. Flames behaved unpredictably. This added authenticity that simply couldn't be faked. It also made filming extremely challenging and risky. Fact 6: the sets were massive and extremely detailed. The filmmakers built enormous sets to represent different floors of the tower. These sets could be burned, flooded, and destroyed safely. The attention to detail was incredible. Everything from furniture to wiring was designed to look real. This helped immerse audiences in the experience. Fact 7. Some scenes were shot in reverse. To make explosions look bigger, filmmakers sometimes filmed destruction and then played it backward. For example, collapsing objects were pulled upward using wires, then reversed to look like they were falling naturally. This technique made destruction look more dramatic. It was a clever trick used before CGI existed. Fact 8. Fred Astaire did his own dangerous scenes. Legendary actor Fred Astaire was in his 70s during filming. Despite his age, he insisted on performing many of his own scenes. He handled intense emotional moments and dangerous situations with incredible professionalism. His performance became one of the film's most emotional highlights. Fact 9. The film's fire effects were revolutionary. The fire effects were groundbreaking. Special rigs controlled flames safely while allowing realistic movement. This helped create scenes never seen before in movies. Audiences were stunned. Fact 10. The water tank scenes were extremely difficult. Flood scenes required massive water tanks. Actors had to perform while being hit with powerful water pressure. These scenes were physically exhausting, but they looked incredible on screen. Fact 11. The film was one of the most expensive ever made. The budget was huge for its time. Studios spent millions on sets, effects, and actors. It was a massive risk. Fortunately, it paid off. Fact 12. John Williams composed the score. The legendary John Williams created the film's powerful music. His score added emotional depth and suspense. He would later become one of the greatest composers in film history. This was one of his early major successes. Fact 13. It won multiple Academy Awards. The film was nominated for several awards and won 3 at the Academy Awards. These included Best Cinematography and Best Film Editing. This proved disaster movies could be serious cinema. Fact 14. The Glass Tower was a miniature. The building was actually a detailed miniature model. Filmmakers combined miniature shots with full-scale sets. This made the tower look enormous. Audiences believed it was real. Fact 15. Smoke was the biggest danger on set. Smoke was harder to control than fire. It reduced visibility and made breathing difficult. Safety crews were always present. Filming required careful planning. Fact 16. The film changed fire safety awareness. The movie made people think seriously about fire safety. It showed how small problems could become deadly. This influenced building safety discussions. Fact 17. Paul Newman almost turned down the role. Newman wasn't sure about doing a disaster film, but he loved the character's depth. He eventually agreed. His performance became iconic. Fact 18. Steve McQueen helped shape his character. McQueen added realism to his firefighter role. He studied real firefighters. This made his performance authentic. Fact 19. The film became the highest-grossing movie of 1974. It was a massive box office success. Audiences loved it. It became a global hit. Fact 20. It defined the disaster genre forever. The film set the standard for future disaster movies. Its influence can still be seen today. It changed Hollywood forever. Even decades later, The Towering Inferno remains one of the greatest disaster movies ever made. It wasn't just about fire, it was about human courage, fear, sacrifice, and survival. The film pushed technology forward. It pushed actors to their limits. And it showed audiences something they had never experienced before. Its legacy continues to inspire filmmakers today. And that's why more than 50 years later, the flames of The Towering Inferno still burn bright.